Saka takes. Rice! Declan Rice! Oh, God, for life! He has beaten Manchester United!
Goosebumps, man. Just goosebumps. I was at work actually, and I lost my shit. Like, I went ballistic when he scored that goal. Like, I was behind the bar. I ran out from around behind the bar, and I ran outside. I'm fist pumping everything. If somebody would have jumped in front of me, I would have Mike Tyson someone. I guarantee somebody would have caught one on the chin, and they would have dropped like second period French. I'm telling you. Anyway, welcome in. How's it? I don't know where Glenn is. I guess he'll be along shortly. Don't know. But anyway, we brought in some replacements, and you guys know, if you followed that Ryan and I long enough, you know who that is. Welcome back to the program, to the channel, Rowan. How are you, man? Good to have you back on the program.
Great to be here. I think I've had a season off, and what a season it's been. And then now again, talking about Arsenal, the enthusiasm's back, and can't wait to be chatting with you guys.
The band is getting back together. We've got the real Ryan down beside him making another appearance. How are you, sir?
I'm great. It always feels good beating United, coming in the office. There's chest is puffed out. So yeah, I feel great.
Is it cold in Atlanta, by the way?
It's freezing in this office. So
I was going to say, because if it's cold, you
like
can come on up here.
It's in here.
Yeah, it's like Smash Mouth said. It's like, the walking on the sun here in Pittsburgh.
Right.
It's unbelievably hot. And OG Ryan, who looks like he just rolled out of bed.
Ooh. It's from all the partying since.
Or is it sex hair with the unicorn?
After the game maybe. No, I'm telling you, I've been out ever since the United game. I just got home. I get home for the show. The show was originally be at 4, so if it was at 4, I would have had time to shower. Maybe clean myself up a little bit. But it's at 3, so I did what I had to do. You know what excuses are like, right? Assholes. Everybody's got one. And they all stink. I was just gonna say something to you, now I don't remember what it was. Anywho. Stands in the house, Brady's banana. This is a great, by the way, Brady's banana. I just love saying that. It's tremendous. And it just always seems so dirty. But anyway, so OG Ryan, why don't you start us off with feelings from Sunday? I mean, all right, let's do this. I'll just ask a point blank question. How did you react to Declan Rice's goal? It's funny enough, much like a lot of Man U supporters, I was like, how is he alone? This doesn't feel right. This is getting, called back. Something's going on. But I celebrated anyway. And the house was shaking. I was screaming. It's exciting, and it just gave me those vibes. It gave me the Reece Nelson vibes when we scored against Bournemouth. So it was phenomenal. It was goosebumps. It was awesome. Rowan?
I mean, we've kind of made these late winners, 90th minute winners are kind of our thing, right? And it doesn't get later than that. And and the emotion that we had to go through, right? I was watching along with a friend of mine who's a United fan, and in the 88th minute, he of course he was elated, and on the first replay, it looked like Garnacho was onside, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, even a draw felt unfair, and then we lost it, and then like after that, there was no looking back, right? Like, I wasn't sure we were gonna get the win, but thoroughly deserved. And talking about Bournemouth, so I haven't been on any sort of show for the past season. And I was there for Bournemouth, and I saw it live.
Wow.
And so vibes from there, like insane. Like, that was one of the core memories there. And this one, matched it, right? I mean, I think that one little different because, we were in that title race and everything, but a 90th minute winner or 96th minute winner is a 96th minute winner, right? Like, doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. Real Ryan?
No, I mean, I felt the same way. And I think even the way that the play developed as well, where even with Reese, he took such a big touch to control it. And there's just so much time. And the same with Declan. He just chests it up in the air for an hour. And the ball just doesn't come down. And Maguire's just staring at him. No one's closing him down.
Well, that is Harry Maguire, though, right?
Right, of course. And I know everyone just screaming, just shoot. And he just does and takes a deflection, hit off Onana's hand. And there's almost that millisecond of just like no breath, no air. And you just see limbs, right? You don't even breathe for that second. Right. You see limbs and you just can't believe it. And Rowan mentioned it. And, the up and down from the goal that was taken away, but just a sliding doors moment. I went into that game. I was so nervous that we just couldn't lose. I didn't want to go into the break with that hanging over us and whatever. So the fact that it happened then in extra time, like how we like to do, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I still can't. I can't.
It's one of those things. It's not quite in the same category. You guys will understand why. But I mean, it is definitely up there with Reese's goal. But to compare it to a different sport, that's something that I saw live in 2017, Eastern Conference Final for the NHL, the Penguins and Senators, and Chris Kunitz scored the series-winning goal in double overtime. I mean, fuck Chris Kunitz. Don't be mad, man. Don't be mad. Yeah, he's a dirtbag. He's also a 3-time Stanley Cup champ. But anyway, it's something it takes your breath away. Yeah. And it wasn't the final kick of the ball, but it just like Real Ryan said, no breath, no air. It's almost like everything just stands still for a moment. But unbelievable. And it's like I watch it back, and even just watching the intro. By the way, shout out Peter Drury, because he is
incredible.
Absolutely, and in any sport, one of those announcers who can just
Arlo who?
Right.
Peter Drury he transports you to the game and through you can feel. I don't know if it's like this for you guys. I could feel the atmosphere even while I'm at work and I'm watching on TV, and I had the sound on TV too. And I could, and we didn't have Peter Drury here in America. We don't get him that much anymore.
Right.
But watching the replay of it, it's like I'm transported to the stadium, and I can just feel it through him. He's absolutely one of the best announcers in any sport that I've ever heard. It's unbelievable that his ability to capture those moments the way that he does, just with his voice. It's incredible to me. So I guess maybe we'll work a little bit backward. Does anybody else want to add anything reaction wise to the overall game?
No, I mean, just the fact that it's Man U, so
right. Well, and that, I mean, and it's all right.
Makes
so
it way better.
I know who OG Ryan hates more. Rowan, who do you hate more? You
out of the two Ryans? No. So I know what it is. See, it's the ultimate disrespect, right? That I have when I started watching, and I'm not from North London, right? Like, I mean, everyone went down. So for me, rivals were Manchester United, were Chelsea, were teams like that. Liverpool came along later, right, in the last since Suarez or something, I would think then, and Tottenham, I've never seen them as rivals, really. I mean, that's the ultimate disrespect, right? You won't even acknowledge that they're rivals. Saying that they're rivals puts them at a status,
right.
but I don't even think that. So who do I hate more? United.
Real Ryan?
Yeah, it's United and it's not even close. I think there's the historic clubs and with Liverpool and Man United and us, I feel like really take that mantle. I think there's a little bit of respect with Liverpool and how they've built, so I can respect that, and I think their fans are reasonable for the most part. United, it's
Wait a minute. I'm talking United and the shitbags up the road.
I'm not even including them in this.
I'm
not even including them in this. I mean, they've done nothing to ever be on our level, so I can't really, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's United, and it's not even close.
Wow, I will root for United. I mean, unless for some reason, whatever the outcome that would best benefit Arsenal is who I would root for between those two.
Sure.
So this, like early in the season, best outcome is a draw. So I root for a draw. But end of the season, I would root for whatever the better outcome for Arsenal is. But between the two, it's not close for me, and it's not United.
That's insane to me.
Yeah,
I cannot stand. I don't know if it's because I think part of it for me, United. I guess it's the interaction with the fans and the scumbag supporters, at least here in Pittsburgh, are just like beyond entitled. It's like, you haven't done anything. Why?
That's why it's easy for me. That's why it's easy for me, because they haven't. But like, if you talk about the title run-ins with United in the 2000s, I mean, that basically.
Yeah,
I mean, those were so intense.
I guess I hate them more because it's not a rivalry to me.
Okay.
It is.
I also probably
like
couldn't name
United is a
Tottenham
rivalry, and it's what'd you say, Ryan?
I probably can't even name 5 Tottenham fans that I know. Like, I don't know any.
Don't know that I can name them by. I recognize easily probably 30 here in Pittsburgh.
That's insane.
And they're everywhere. They're like dog shit in the park. They're everywhere.
Well, I put it this way:
it's insane to me.
The ones that I do know, they're like, oh, I support them because of Clint Dempsey and the U.S. national team. And I'm like, okay. So they're like, yeah, like, not really a fan. I just picked them up because, USA Soccer, and it's like, I don't know.
But see, they
don't know what they're talking about.
In their little run where they were finishing above us, boy, they just came out of the woodwork, man. And I feel like every time I'd go into the grocery store or something, like I'd see 3 shirts, and I'd have an Arsenal shirt on, and they would like point and snicker, and I'm just like, okay.
But that made it even more fun, because during their golden era, they didn't win anything.
Right, that's what I mean, and that's why
nothing. So
that's why I hate them more. Like, at least United fans can look back on their history and say, yeah, we're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, whether we want to admit that or not, we're one of the biggest clubs in the world, and they are, and I can admit that, and I think the FA has a hard on for them, and it obviously from the Fergie days and everything, and that's fine, whatever, but. It's the fans of Tottenham that have driven this unabashed hatred for them. The only team, I've said this before, the only team in any sport that I hate more than them, Ryan, I don't even hate the Flyers as much as I hate Tottenham.
I think it's the same thing. Like, who gives a fuck about the Flyers?
Well, and they're right, but see, Flyers fans won't banter me at all. Because again, it's like, you can't, but Tottenham fans can't. They still do. I don't know why. That's the thing that drives me nuts. The only team I hate more than them in any sport is Penn State football, and that's not close. Like, I would root for ISIS over.
All right. Can we get back on the
anyway?
Jeez.
Moving on. I guess we'll work backwards, because I think real Ryan, you brought up the penalty. Now, let's. I guess if we're going to work backward, let's
penalty?
go to backward in the game.
Okay.
Declan Rice's goal. Is it a foul on? Is it a foul on Gabby in the box? Anyone?
No. He's getting.
We
should have gotten. I don't know what foul they see. Honestly,
we should have gotten the penalty. We should have gotten the penalty. Johnny Evans fouled Gabby, which is
right.
I've watched it back a few times, and that's just I don't know that it's either a foul on both or it's a foul on neither, because I think they're both giving each other
Toggling.
the business.
I mean, the one still I see is Evans has a fistful of Gabby shirt, and he's like,
Yeah,
throwing it
that's
off
what I
of him.
saw too.
It's insane. But I mean, yeah.
So I'm thinking then it would have been
Working backwards. This is a tough task.
Would it be the Hoyland, the shout for
maybe.
the penalty on Hoyland? That was after the Garnacho goal or the Garnacho offside, right?
Yes.
So here we may get some debate here.
There's debate on this one.
Rowan, I'll start with you. Is
Okay.
it a foul on Hoyland from Gabby?
No, I don't think so. I think that's just like body strength from both sides, and it wasn't like really a shirt pull. So not a penalty for me. Like every time if you have a shirt pull and that's a penalty, it's going to go berserk. Not for me.
Real Ryan?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I see nothing. I feel like we've seen much worse that is not called, and so
I agree with that. 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
OG Ryan?
Should we play the video or?
Okay.
Like I kind of want you can, or I don't know if you can play the video.
It would take me a minute.
I think it's without a question a penalty. They should have gotten a penalty.
Wow.
He doesn't even play the ball. He plays Hoyland. I also don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, he's trying to. Y'all are young.
Yeah, let's
dogs.
see.
I don't remember seeing the replay during the game. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. So I saw it after the game, and I'm like, we got away with one. But then again, like this whole game was just based on little like microcosms of plays, like 50-50, penalty, no penalty, offsides, no offsides. So it was interesting, but yeah, no, they definitely should have got a penalty because Gabby
it's a stone cold penalty.
It's not even close.
It's a
stone
cold penalty for me. Gabby gets his arm and he's wrapped around Hoyland to the point where his elbow is bending behind around Hoyland's side. And then he leans into him like that and just falls. I need
to see it again. In real time, it didn't look like it. I didn't see it.
See, I'm with you. In real time, I'm looking at it and I'm saying it's physical play. I watched the replay. I'm like, that's a penalty. This
is why you should have had gotten prepped and got the video ready. Because I was like, once they both
you have no idea what goes into it.
I was like, no, you're just kidding. But it's
I think if it were, I guess this is how I look at it. I put the shoe on the other foot.
If it was Gabby in the box getting pulled, you would have wanted it.
Exactly. If it's Jesus, if it's Eddie, if it's anybody in our box that's getting, I mean, and Gabby is beaten. Like Hoyland has him beaten. I think that's the thing that makes it even more egregious to me is if I'm on VAR, I'm looking at it and I'm saying he's beaten, he's holding him back. It's in the box. He goes to ground, and he doesn't just fall. Like you can very clearly see Gabby leaning on him with his arm around him, leaning and forcing him to the ground. Now, does he fall easy? Don't know. But in my opinion, you watch it, I'm thinking there's some weight there, and he goes down. I would have given the penalty, and I would have been screaming if the roles were reversed there and we didn't get the call.
Let me see. Yeah.
See, okay, so remember I think it was last year. Remember Tyrone Mings pulled down Sack with the state. So were you feeling the same way about that one as you did this?
Yeah.
Because I was kind of indifferent about that one as well.
I always try to look at it from the in situations like this. I try to here again put the shoe on the other foot. I'm glad it wasn't called. But I think it should have been. Ryan, what did you say to me before we came on the air? You asked me a question. I don't remember. You asked me a question. It was kind of along these lines. I don't know. 2-2. Okay, so
I'm saying the video to Rohan and Ryan right now. I just DM.
I mean, and with the benefit of VAR has that benefit. I am pretty surprised VAR didn't give it. So
I don't remember the there even being a check.
Garnacho offside. I don't know if there was a check or not.
I mean, there was a check. They drew lines, and it came
No,
out.
no, no.
It's
On
technology.
the non-penalty.
On the penalty.
I don't know if there was a check or not. Yeah, Garnacho. Okay. I'll let you guys go, and then I'll give my take on this. Rowan, Garnacho, offside.
I mean, what's the debate? They drew lines. It's technology. Are we going to argue technology now?
Yeah. Real Ryan, is he offside?
I didn't even think he was on. I saw it in real time, and I said he's offsides automatically. I didn't even think it was as close as they were. I thought what Gabby did was excellent. I didn't even think it was close.
Yeah.
To me, when I saw it in real time, I was like, "That's off for sure." So
what he did was excellent, but when they showed the replay, I felt like he was onside. But of course, like it's camera angles, right? It looks like that, and then sometimes it just turns out that it's offside. Like you remember the John Stones goal, which on the camera angle looked like way offside, and then they drew the lines and it was on. I mean, we're not going to argue technology now.
Right.
Unless they forget to draw lines like against Brentford last year.
Yeah, that was
No. We're not allowed to talk about that. OG.
I didn't. I posted the link in the chat, but it's not. Anyway, sorry. So the debate for me isn't really offside or onside because I think he was clearly offsides. But I don't know how you do this. Maybe have an overhead camera angle, but the angles are fucked. And I've been saying this for a few years since VAR is coming into play. I never like the angles the VAR gets when they're detecting offsides. It's always on some kind of angle, and every angle can be deceiving for or against your call. I don't know. I think something needs to be done. And again, you can't. What are you gonna have like a camera every inch of the field? You can't really do that. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely want something to be done because it's deceiving, and we've ourselves have gotten burned by offside calls where the angle just looks way off, and they're drawing lines based on an obtuse angle, and you're like, "What? Now I didn't know how to take trigonometry to figure out offsides." And it's problematic because you'll have people making those what if calls. But I think this is a little more like I think he was offsides anyway, and the whole offside thing needs to be looked at in general. Besides, the whole, and I think it they're trying to take the angle out of it, and the fact that Bundesliga has been doing it where they have like a thicker line for the. I don't know if it's a thicker line for the player or for the attacker or the defender, but it's a thicker line. Therefore, you have to be offsides by a larger margin for it to be called, which I actually really like. Because I've always grown up, Ty always goes to the runner. Everyone knows that. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't like at any time an offside gets reviewed because the angle they give is just so fucked. But no, I still think he was offsides at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think by the letter of the law it is. But I'm with you.
Get out of my head. I was just gonna start. Exactly how I was going.
Because I'm with Ryan on this too, because I just feel like, did he gain an unfair advantage? You know what I mean? No. You know what I mean? Like Declan Rice stepped up and just threw ball right through, nice flick, and then so I don't think he gained an advantage, right? I think it was a great bit of play. But yeah, I'm with you. A thicker line would be interesting, and yeah, the angles are a little wonky, so I don't know. I'm sure, and we're having this conversation, and I'm sure at some point this year it's gonna screw us, and we'll be on the other side.
So by the letter of the law, he's offside. I don't like the law. I mean, in that situation, obviously, I'm glad that the law is what it is, but I don't like that a millimeter of your knee in a bent position can be considered offside compared to a defender's foot, which is planted firmly in the ground. You're neck and neck. You're neck and neck otherwise. And I don't think that's, to me, I think that's a problem with the rule. I mean, it's interpreted correctly. So that's fine. He's offside. I've always said that I think it should be the rule should be rewritten to, and I've gotten a ton of backlash for this, but I think the rule should be rewritten so that if you can keep a body part onside, in other words, like a foot, you're running and your foot is in the air, and if you can keep that foot,
in the same line with the defender, you're onside. Rather than you being offside by a millimeter, you can be onside by a millimeter.
Isn't this what Wenger also proposed?
This is
Wenger also proposed this, right?
And that's basically where I got it from. I just, to me, to sit, I mean, yeah, again, by the letter of the law, he's offside. But he, like Real Ryan said, did he gain an unfair advantage? Did he gain an advantage? No, he was born with the advantage. He's faster. That's it. It was a good ball from, I believe it was Casemiro. Yeah, good ball from Casemiro. So like Real Ryan said, it's good play, fair play to them. Job well done. We got lucky there.
Yeah.
I mean, we got lucky from the standpoint that the law is the law, that the rule is written the way that it is. Ryan, I didn't know the Bundesliga thing. I don't pay attention to Bundesliga too much, but the thicker line, therefore, having to have more of your body offside. So, if you've got some wonky leg hair that for some reason sticks straight out and all of a sudden has grown to 2 inches long, they can zoom in on that and be like, nope, see, right there, leg hair, it's offside. It's offside, that leg hair. It's, I don't like the way that the rule is written. But anyway, Eddie's the kick from Lindelof to Eddie Nketiah. Real Ryan, I'll start with you. We were kind of talking about this before we started.
Yeah, I noticed it in real time. So I was surprised it didn't get looked at, but then Eddie doesn't react like he got kicked in the face. So I think that's why I said, okay, well, maybe I didn't see it right, whatever. But I thought it wasn't. Now after seeing more video that was in slow motion, he definitely gets kicked in the head. But I think we mentioned too, when the ball's bouncing like that and he's trying to run through, he puts his head down. I don't think it was done, with malicious intent, right, is what they look for when they, would give a red. So considering where he was on the field and that he was breaking through, I tweeted that, that's about as orange of a card as you can get. So I guess I'm okay with the yellow, but I think if Eddie reacted differently, I think they would have looked at it, and then they slow everything down, so they would have saw he got kicked in the head. So, who knows?
Does Eddie's body angle play a role in this?
In terms of what? The fact that he's leaning forward and going towards the ball, or?
Well, I guess in terms of did Lindelof get a yellow card for that?
Yes.
He did get a yellow card for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking he didn't. I thought there was nothing. I thought okay.
Yeah. So he got a yellow.
So he did get a yellow card.
Yeah.
See, I'm sitting here thinking he didn't get anything at all. So I get well, okay. Does Eddie's body angle play a role in him not getting a straight red? Do you take that into consideration?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, and it's funny, right? We always say this about some of our players that, maybe we need to go a little bit more towards the dark arts and, embellish a little bit more with stuff like that around the box. But I give him credit for not, right? He's fighting for the ball. He gets kicked. He tries to fight through it. He does go down. He gets the yellow. I think if he, grabs his face and flails around, they might go look at it and he might have got sent off. So I don't think his body does anything for me. I just, I think it's a last ditch effort, because if he doesn't get him, he's through. So
right. Rowan?
It's orange, but I'm okay with a yellow card in this instance, right? Like, because so before the show we compared it to, like, at least I compared it to the red card that Granit Xhaka got 2 seasons ago now against Liverpool, where he took down Jota with the kick. But I think that was the kick, but also the fact that he was the last man going through. I think what played a part was that this was so much in the corner. It was by the sideline, right? So he had to make that angle, and somebody else could have covered up. So that's the reason why it wasn't obstructing a goal-scoring opportunity. And in terms of violent play, I think Lindelof had eyes for the ball. Eddie was bent over. So, a red card, I could understand if he got a red card, but and Eddie didn't make a meal out of it. So I could understand that, but because Eddie didn't make a meal out of it, it would be overzealous to give a red card in that instance. And so, I mean, I think it's okay that he did get a red card in that instance.
Yeah. OG.
Yeah, no, it's a yellow. Although kind of giving hints to how I feel about another penalty we're going to talk about. I think if Taylor gave the red on the field, I think it would have stood for Lindelof, but the yellow was given. I don't even remember this happening in live time, as I said earlier, so I don't really remember this too much. I actually thought this was in the first half, but I don't really like. I saw it and I'm like, okay, like yellow's fine. I think the call on the field would have always held up. Eddie's kind of going down towards the ball, which doesn't really help his case. And it's kind of just Lindelof was kind of going up, Eddie was kind of going down. They just met at a point. And I mean, yellow's fine.
Yep. Yeah. A little out of order. Yeah, that was the first half. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah,
I was like, wait.
First half. I'm a little out of order here.
No, it's fine.
It was Eddie then that went into the box that Wan-Bissaka. That was the one that was called the penalty for us and then waved off. That was Eddie, right?
That was
the second
Havertz.
half. Was it Havertz?
The penalty
Havertz
was that
is the
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
Havertz?
it's Havertz.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
Shit. Penalty? Rowan?
See, it was given, right? Like it was soft, incredibly soft. He didn't get pushed. They tried to close the door on him. I don't think there was enough contact for him to go down. But the fact of the matter is that the penalty was given. And from what I understood, this was the first time that a penalty got given and then was cancelled in this way, like or something to that effect, right? If there was no penalty call, I don't think it would have been a debate. I think it's become a debate because there was a penalty call. There was some, contact. So was it clear and erroneous mistake? I don't think so. So it should have stood because there was a penalty given. But if it wasn't, it wouldn't have been. So yeah.
So your argument is whatever the ruling on the field was should have stood.
Yeah, because it wasn't clear and obvious.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Real Ryan?
Yeah, I think, Rowan and I are singing from the same hymn sheet here. I saw it the exact same way. Super soft. That's one of those ones, if it happened to us, I'd be really disappointed if it was given. But since it was given on the field, I don't know what they were really looking at. And when he disallowed it, I was very surprised. Because I don't think Havertz, it's one of those things, I don't think he was looking for it, right? I don't think he was trying to go down. Now, he might have went down easy, but I don't think it was one of those Harry Kane, drag the leg, one of those deals.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's where my head is kind of off, is because I feel like he goes through, he's looking at the ball, he's trying to get to it, and they just sandwich him. Now, they don't do a blatant take him out job, but I think there is contact, and I think that's why it was so quick to give the pen, and I don't know what he saw to take it away. So I'm very confused. I'm glad we're not talking about that because we won in a more serious, context. So, but yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised. I was.
OG?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with both of them. I think that whatever the call on the field was, it should have been withheld. No clear and obvious error. I don't really got much to say. You guys both said it for me. So
I don't. It's soft.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I agree that call on the field, whatever it was, should have stood, because to me that's kind of VAR. The VAR's job, yes, is to say this never happened. What you saw didn't happen. That's a clear and obvious error. But to me, this is where you get into that gray area a little bit, because you're now talking about affecting the outcome of a game one way or the other. And I think, like Real Ryan said, put the shoe on the other foot. I'm screaming this isn't a penalty, and I look at it and I think that overturning it after, I think this is the first time I can remember where VAR's, because Anthony Taylor went over to the monitor on this one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This played out the way it should have.
To me, this played out exactly the way that it should have. What he saw in real time, he deemed to be a penalty. And I can understand that. VAR says, okay, we're going to look at it because I think every penalty given gets looked at. I don't care how obvious it is. I think every penalty it's like every scoring play in the NFL, right? Every scoring play and every turnover gets looked at automatically. Every penalty that is given, hell, probably every goal scored gets automatically reviewed. We just may not. It may just
that's right. They do.
You know what?
Every goal scorer gets looked at.
So this is every penalty gets reviewed, and I think when you go back and Anthony Taylor goes back and he looks at it, he says, "Okay, yeah, this is soft. It's not a penalty." And from the minute he calls the penalty to VAR reviewing it, radioing down to Anthony Taylor and saying, "You go take a look at the monitor," and Anthony Taylor overturning it, he himself making the call to overturn it. This is one of those examples of VAR, I think, actually working. I don't think it's a penalty. Yeah, because the man on the field that made the call goes over, looks at the screen, and if we're all saying that, okay, it's soft, and we'd be screaming if the shoe were on the other foot, I think Anthony Taylor ultimately gets the call right.
But the only time Anthony Taylor would ever look at that call, look at the video, would be if it was in fact a clear and obvious error, which I don't believe there was. So Anthony Taylor should not be looking at that screen.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that, because if you make the call on the field,
then you disagree with VAR. Then
no, I think in the NFL, they don't radio down and say it's overturned. The referee goes to the monitor. In the NHL, every score, every goal, they go and they look at the monitor.
Because they think there's an error they think there's an error. It's like, hey,
the on-field, the on-surface officials are the ones that they confer with the eyes in the sky, and they come up with a decision. I think if there's going to be a VAR check, I think the on-field official needs to be at the monitor every single time looking at it. He's the one that made the call on the field. He needs to be at the monitor looking at it every single. Now, if there's an angle that for some reason he doesn't see on the on-field monitor that VAR, eye in the sky can look at and say, well, we see this. We have this angle that we can't give to you, and this is what we see, then okay. But
I would see, this is so funny. This is just like our offside conversation. Whereas the rules in place for how it is, and it benefited us. I think the VAR was in place and it benefited Man U, because I think the rule is Anthony Taylor. Well, no, I take that back. I think you're okay. Hold on. Let me go. I agree with everything you're saying. I think no matter what, if it's a check, I think the ref should check them on no matter what. But in any other VAR check, the only time the ref would check the video monitor would be if the VAR control room goes, hey,
right,
we think
you missed something.
But he did miss something.
No,
what did he miss?
No. Again, what is VAR? VAR is clear and obvious error. There was no clear and obvious error that was met. But again, if Taylor was it's just like an order of operations.
It's not
just a step. Yeah. I agree. I think Taylor needs to check the monitor I think any ref that gives a penalty should have them self-confirm it and be like, hey, let's go to the monitor, let's check it out. But again, VAR is only there for a clear, obvious error. There, in my opinion, there was no clear and obvious error.
But see, in situations like this, though, if VAR is getting involved in clear and obvious errors, then not every goal is a clear and obvious error, but they're still checking it.
They're checking it for clear and obvious, and there was no clear and obvious, so it shouldn't have gone on to the next one. The question is not about checking. The question is about the next steps that are being taken. If there was no contact at all, then it would be clear and obvious. There was some contact, so it wasn't clear and obvious. But I think I agree with this also, right? That Anthony Taylor probably looked at it in one way. He thought there was more contact. He went on, he checked it. He feels like what he saw was a little bit exaggerated version in real time, and he saw it in slow motion, and he saw that it didn't really, there wasn't that much contact. He's taken it back, right? So that's okay. I think by the letter of the law, it wasn't the right practice because it wasn't clear and obvious. To
Yeah.
me, a lot of times sending the referee to the monitor is a cue or a get out of jail card for the referee from the VAR, saying that, there's a mistake, go there, and a lot of times it gets overturned, be it red card.
That's what I'm, and that's the other thing too, is every time you see the referee go to the monitor, whatever the decision on the field is, it gets overturned, right? I don't think I've ever seen.
I want to say it was a Women's World Cup game. I've seen it once.
So it's an exception. It's a super.
And it goes, nope, I agree with my call.
Yeah, it's a big exception. In fact, like a lot of times, I think people have felt that referees should have stuck to their original opinion, but the fact is that they feel like their friends are doing them a favor by sending it over, and this implicit thing of, I've made a mistake, that's why they're sending me over. Like this whole thing goes on. To me, the penalty, the fact that it was given, it should have stood. But if it happened against us, like I would full-heartedly agree that it wasn't a penalty, too soft, etc. Right. So I mean, it didn't affect the outcome of the game. I'm happy.
Ultimately, right. And thank God it didn't. Like Real Ryan said before, we're not discussing this ad nauseum because it affected the outcome of the game. Ultimately, we won. This is a secondary note, if you will, or a side note. I just, to me, if there's going to be a review, I get the clear and obvious thing, but if they're already automatically going to check it, in that case, now offside, I would not say that I think a referee should go and check offside. I think that's a VAR thing
because they just draw lines.
That's what I mean. So I can't say that I think in every VAR review the on-field official needs to go to the monitor. I don't think they need to go to the monitor on offside. I think every red card should automatically be reviewed, whether it's 2 yellows or a straight red. Every red card should be automatically reviewed by the on-field official at the monitor.
Give them a cell phone or something so that they can check real quick.
Yeah, right. Hey, what does Twitter say? what is Twitter telling you?
The official referees of Twitter.
Just put a thing up on the screen. Man United fans, send a thumbs down. Arsenal fans, send a thumbs up. Whoever gets whatever the higher percentage is in the next 60 seconds.
Don't give many ideas.
I know, right? Oh my God.
Again, like I said, right? There'll be a time when fans will make substitutions.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, what's Tanner in Pittsburgh saying?
Yeah,
you're a shit manager.
But no, I definitely think they need to they need to outline like specific like steps that this needs to take. Because I agree. I think when a penalty is being called or straight red's being called, I think the head ref, automatically should go to the monitor. And that I think also too, in that way, it kind of takes kind of what Rohan was saying, like. Because we all know it's a little boys club and they try to back each other. And I don't know if we talked about this last week, or 2 weeks ago, the Howard Dean comment. Is it not Howard Dean? Mike Dean. I think it's the sausage guy.
Mike Dean. Hold on, real quick. Hold your thought. Have you heard the shit that he's saying on TV? Now it's like,
I don't know.
Yeah. Where was this?
Does something happen when you put on your boots and get onto the field and you're between the white lines that your brain shuts off? Because everything you've said on TV is exactly right.
Yeah.
Why can't you translate it from the studio to the field? It's nerves. It's got to be nerves. 60,000 people breathing down his neck.
But I think what Ryan is saying about him flip-flopping, right? He said definite penalty, and then he changed the decision, and then Mike Dean said, "Yeah, I agree. It was too soft, not a penalty." Like he changed it. That's what you're referring to, right, Ryan?
Well, no, I was referring to Mike Dean essentially saying like. I don't remember the comments. He said it.
They basically made a comment along the lines of he didn't want to send Anthony Taylor to the monitor because that's his friend and he didn't want to embarrass his friend.
Yep. That's what he said.
Did you see that, Rowan?
I don't know.
So that's a separate one. So that happened and he was clarifying that a mate means like anybody who's refereeing is my mate. Then like he kind of like defended that. But there was another one of these penalties from last week where the first time it happened. And he said, no, it's a penalty for me. Like it looks like it's a penalty. And then the referee goes over and he overturns his decision. And he says, yeah, now he got it right. Like he just like turned his opinion 180. You know. So yeah, like all of these guys, little boys
No,
club.
it's an old boys club, like OG Ryan said. It's
Yeah.
which I hate. It's the one thing that every Premier League fan can agree on is the refs and VAR suck. It's like we're not fighting each other. We're fighting the establishment referees and the PMGOL or whatever professional.
I don't even want to go as I'll even defend them. I don't even want to go as far as they suck. They're just not consistent, which I guess leads to them just sucking. I think I just want consistency because we all every week I feel like I'm tweeting like I don't know what a handball is. I need help. Like I need the rule book. I just don't. When I watch the game with friends or we're talking about a call, it's specifically a handball because that's usually the thing that gets most debate. It's like, no, it's not a handball because of this, that, and the other thing. But it's like, well, wait, but he did do that, but he didn't do that, and it's just consistency. And even going back to this Havertz penalty, like I just want consistency. I want the ref to go to the monitor every time because I think it prevents.
Right.
Like, yeah. I just feel like when refs go to the monitor, it's almost as if they're being told, like, you fucked up, go to timeout and think about what you've done. And they always come back and they always change their mind because they're embarrassed. I mean, I think essentially it boils down to them just being embarrassed. So, like, okay, like I can't go to the monitor and stick with my call because then people will get mad at me and say I'm too, stubborn and thick-headed. I don't know what really goes to their heads because I'm obviously not a ref, but I just want something that's just uniform and consistent and just the same steps taken for every call, because with this particular play, it just outlines how much inconsistency there is. I mean, unless if we hear from the FA saying like, no, we saw a clear and obvious error, then okay, then we're idiots here. But I just
I think it goes to the line of thinking that.
And with that, real quick, they also, I don't know if you guys heard this, but tomorrow they're gonna release the communication between VAR and the officials, the audio. I don't know if it's gonna be for the rest of the season, but I just know they're showing audio, or I guess not showing audio. Like how would you? Yeah, I guess showing audio. It doesn't really make sense, but they're airing. Yeah, that works. That works way better. They're airing audio. I don't know from
our game.
This game? No, I think just games in general.
Which
is what most of us wanted. So
they're doing it I believe they're doing it in Germany. I know they're doing it in France, where after a situation like this, the referee just has a microphone like they do in the NFL. Tap the mic and tell TV and tell the fans in the stadium why the decision was made and explain it.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion, and I'm sure you guys were, they ended up killing them, but the call against Fulham, the offsides, is Akanji standing in the way? Is he preventing Leno from seeing?
Exactly,
it's just stuff like that. So it's just like it makes it really hard for us to know for sure what is the call. And so I'd like to see. Hopefully, they have the discussion about what happened there because I still don't freaking know what happened.
Well, I remember some years ago, and when I say it was before the pandemic. So, we're talking going on 4 years, 3 years now, 4 years, where they don't allow the officials to disclose the reasoning behind their decisions, whether it be in the moment on the field during the game or whether it be afterward in a press conference with the media. This isn't exactly how they put it, but to protect the integrity of the officials.
Yeah.
That to me, is that not directly going in the face of what you're saying? If I say we're not going to allow them to talk so as to protect their integrity. So you're afraid that if they talk, they're going to sound like idiots. and no one is going to have any faith in them. Right. Yet nobody has any faith in them when they're on the field because we see these decisions and we don't get an explanation as to why. So really, how much worse can you make it by allowing them to disclose their reasoning behind the decisions that they make?
That's an age-old request by players, right? After a match performance, the players have to come and face the media. Right. The manager needs to come and give your match performance and your reading of what you've done. See, it's a difficult job, right? These
For
Premier League
sure.
matches are happening at like 1,000 miles an hour. You're covering so much ground. These matches are now longer, so everybody talks about the fitness of players, but these guys have to be like crazy fit. I would think, to be able to manage these games. And there's at some point there's mental fatigue that sets in. So I can understand why it's happening, but then you have to acknowledge it. You have to come out and you have to say that this is my rationale. This is what I saw.
Yes.
Yeah. This is how I see it.
Yes.
And I don't even need, because I mean, the NFL doesn't do it. The Major League Baseball certainly doesn't do it. NBA officials, they've gotten into it. But no official in any league in America has a press conference after a game. They don't explain things to the media after. They do it in the moment. They do it on the field, on the court, on the ice, whatever it is, but they do it in the moment. I don't necessarily need and I'm splitting hairs here with this, guys, but I don't need there to be a press conference after the game with the officials. Just explain a decision on the field.
Right. I think it would have went a long way if Anthony Taylor said, when I originally called the penalty, I thought that Wan-Bissaka had made more contact with Kai Havertz going for the ball. After review, I felt there wasn't enough contact, and that's why I switched my call. I think we'd all be like, okay, like that's,
I mean, we as Arsenal fans, and any fan is going to be like this, and United fans felt the same way, with the offside. Granted, I don't know that you wouldn't get the explanation on the offside.
Right.
That's, the lines are drawn for our benefit. They don't put that on the screen in the stadium, do they?
No.
Yeah. So for our benefit at home, we see it. Okay, he's offside. In the stadium, you don't see that. It's just okay. When they reviewed it, he's offside. You kind of have to go with it in the stadium. But yeah, like Real Ryan just said, upon further review, I didn't feel there was enough contact on the attacking player to warrant going down and drawing a penalty. The decision is overturned. It's a free kick to, whatever the result of that is. If it's a goal kick to Manchester, the end result, goal kick to Manchester United, off you go.
Right.
I mean, NFL officials.
Right.
After review, yeah.
I feel like people who go to matches are all oftentimes like disadvantaged because they don't see a lot of things that we see.
That's true.
None of the VAR decisions are shown. In fact, what I saw, which has changed now this season, I understand, is that after the 90th minute, the clock doesn't run. So, you don't really know how much time has passed.
Right.
I mean, I don't think the players also know. And this season, I think they have started with the clock running after 90 minutes. But till
have
now,
they?
Yeah, that's what I read somewhere. At least I read that somewhere that this time. Yeah,
I'll tell you in about 2 weeks when I'm in Everton. We'll see what happens.
Man. Come on, yeah, let's go.
I like that, and you know what? I actually like that. I like not being able to look up at the clock and see, not know how much. I mean, look, I think most of us in this day and age, everybody's got a watch, right? So we can kind of, I mean,
guesstimate.
Yeah, and the assistant coaches, in the technical area, they all have watches, and they're all
the
doing
players need it, right?
And but you know why I think that is, to a degree, or at least why maybe they never. How do I put this? Maybe why they never let the clock run in years past, is so that the players don't stop playing.
Yeah.
The players just play to the whistle. And see, this goes to, if you're teaching kids, don't put the clock up. Why? What are they going to do? They're going to look at the clock. That's why like clocks in classrooms, when I hated there being clocks in classrooms, because I'm like, I don't want to know what time it is. I kind of I'm at work. I kind of hate looking at my watch because I'm like, fuck, man, come on, it's time it needs to speed up so I can get out of here.
Then why do you need a clock for them? 45 minutes, first 45 minutes, or like the regular time. You don't need a clock for them. Like it will run out when it runs out, right? Like,
right. Yeah. I don't think you need a clock. Period. Somebody has to have one, obviously, but that you don't. I don't know that it needs to be shown in the stadium because, and again, they're not kids, but I don't want to know. I just play till the whistle. Just play till the whistle. And 4 games into the season, the new rule of every single second that you waste, we're going to add to that clock. Here it is. It benefits us. And I wish Glenn was here because he hated this. He hates this.
We talked about this last week. So if you can take this game out of it, Rowan and Real Ryan, I want to get your guys' take on because I know how OG feels about it. Did you like the rule initially? I know obviously we like it right now. Did you like the rule initially of, look, don't waste time. We're just going to add it on at the end. You're going to play 100 minutes whether you like it or not. So get the ball back in play. Do you like adding on 8 to 10 minutes every game, Rowan?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, on an average, we saw that the amount of time that was being spent was that it was like 54 minutes, 55 minutes or something that Newcastle played with us last year. Something like that.
Yep.
And the average time is around 60 to 65 minutes or something. So there's so much time wastage. I mean, it can never be accounted for, right? But I mean, I think it benefits bigger teams with more substitutions, and your low block and your keeper taking an eternity will not affect the outcome of the game as much. I also like the fact that just because Tomiyasu Red was a sham, right? Like they tried to over implement it, and I think they understood that you can't be doing that, right? But I understand why they want to hurry players up, because they don't want like 30 minutes added at the end of the game, right? Like that's the idea. But I think it's okay. Like, add the time on if they're going to make substitutions, especially, like, I think that the time should stop during extra time, right? In the sense that after 90 minutes, like, each second should be accounted for, because that's a short amount of time, and you shouldn't be wasting, like, there shouldn't be that I made a substitution, it takes me a minute to make that substitution, but I'm going to add 30 seconds, right? This 30 seconds is like almost one chance, right? Like, so that's the time that I think it should be exact how much time is wasted, like stopwatch. Other than that, I think if you've wasted time, then I'm for like more time added on.
Real Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I was very happy that they were doing this, especially for teams like us, right? We see how other, smaller teams, how they like to play. And I think Rowan made a good point. It's the deep block. It's the 10, 15 seconds for the goal kick. It's the, getting the ball and not being able to pick it up and throw it. Oh, I'm dropping it. All that stuff. The going down, just the fake injuries, like all that needed to end. Okay, like, let's just be honest, like, that needed to end. And I get it. Of course, the team's going to do that if you allow them to do it.
Sure.
Now, it doesn't benefit them because you do all that and it's 1-1 and they're going to give a team like Arsenal 10 more minutes. Okay, well, I will take us in a 1-1 game against a lesser team that's been playing like that all game to find something. So I'm here for it. I definitely, especially for a team like us. I mean, I think it will benefit us a lot this season. So I'm here for it.
So yeah, so I have the answer for what I raised, right? Like, so it's in the EFL League 1 and League 2 now, that wherever technology permits, that they will have the shot clock running. The game clock running. In the Premier League, not till now. That's what I understood.
Okay.
Like, I posted an article.
Yeah. OG and I had kind of hit on this last week, and I wish Glenn was here, because Glenn is an opponent of all of that time being added on. Although, oddly, I would love to get his take on it now, because
exactly.
I'm actually trying to bide my time here, because it's 4:01 and he's still not here. So I actually thought he would pop in at 4:00 and be like, "Hey, I'm here. Hi guys, I'm Glenn in New York," and blah blah blah. Like, the show gets started. But I have no idea where he is. Hopefully he's okay, because usually.
Why doesn't he like the rule? Like, just if because it's
I think he
exerting to the players or something.
He said, what did he say last week? Ryan, injury, doesn't want to, but
injuries.
I mean,
that's how you get injuries.
It's like never leaving your house because you're afraid you're going to get sick, or you're going to get in a car accident, or you're going to stub your toe, or whatever it might be. Like, you can't live your life scared. And you can't play like you're scared, because if you play scared, you're going to lose, right? Scared money don't make money. But I agree. This is only going to, I think, benefit us. And I think, Rowan, you said, the bigger teams, the deeper benches, it's going to stand to benefit that. But at the end of the day, it makes up for. Look, go out and try to win a game, right? If you're Brentford, Brentford might be a bad Crystal Palace. You're Crystal Palace. You come up against one of the big boys, us, City. Well, they seem to go to City and dominate them. So maybe that's a bad example too. You know what I mean? The Luton Town. They just want to sit back in a low block. No, go try to win a game. That's the point here. Like, you're not just. I mean, you're in the business of winning, but you're also to a degree in the business of entertaining. People spend money to go to the games. They, the home fans want to see a win, but obviously the away fans want to see a win. But they want to be entertained as well. There's a level of entertainment to this that go.
I don't think this added on time is because of a low block or something like that, because that's still a game, right? One team is still attacking in a low block, right? It's for those niggling things of making substitutions, taking too much time, going down and staying down without reason. Taking too much time in goal kicks and throw-ins. These are the things for which time gets added on, right? It's not really the fact that somebody's sitting back that time. That's gameplay. That's absolutely acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's
gameplay, but teams that do that are also trying
they're
to
also
it up
the
in
team,
other ways too, right?
They're also the
teams who are also wasting
exactly.
time. Yeah,
exactly. So it's kind of like, okay, if you're going to play this way, you don't get to do both.
Yeah.
Either try to counter and score a goal, or we're going to keep play moving here. It's going to be one of the two. You don't get to sit in a low block, absorb pressure. Then when you finally do get the ball, read the newspaper, have a cup of coffee, check your Twitter, and then get the ball back into play. So, there was something else I wanted to. Damn it! Now I lost my train of thought. Shit.
Well,
talk
Tanner,
about everything but the goals.
Right.
Real quick, Tanner, I sent you a tweet. I didn't want to send to you guys. I didn't know if it was real. I'm just going to quickly bring it up. There's a video apparently of VAR talking about the Havertz penalty.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I'll look at it
because I don't know if it's real. So I think it's.
Oh, great! So he's going to get my hopes up then, and just let the two of you.
I'll tell you, the Twitter it's like Gooners.com or something. It's the Twitter handle.
Glenn fell asleep.
Yeah, shocker.
Old
man.
Oh my god!
But if you guys want to look it up,
Gunners.com. They have.
Yeah.
They have an app. They're pretty reliable.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that. Send it to Rowan and Ryan real quick. This is Stan's comment. Mikko makes his changes around 70
That's
minutes.
Stan. You got it.
I like that. That's a hell of a thought there, Stan. I didn't even think about that.
Keep drinking Arteta Kool-Aid. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, 70 minutes is probably...
That's a good thought, actually. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that.
But the only problem with that comment is it doesn't take into consideration last year making subs at 85 minutes. One of the things with his subs, like he would make subs on like the 94th minute and 5 minutes were added on. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you making this change now? Like, I get if you get a guy up and he's on the touchline waiting for the ball to go out of play, you're waiting to make the change and he waits, 5 or 6 minutes, but you've got 1 minute left. Sit him down. This is stupid. That's the one thing with Arteta I never understood it. He seems to do it like, I got 1 minute left. I'm going to throw Mohamed El Neni on. As thrilled as I am to see Mohamed El Neni get some game time, and I am thrilled, by the way, and I am coming home with a Mohamed El Neni kit. I just don't know which one yet.
That you mean mine, right? That you're getting me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will bring you
a second wedding gift, perhaps.
A second wedding gift. What was the first?
Or it would be my. Well, listen, you want to open that Pandora's box? That's on you, buddy. I wasn't gonna bring that up. If you want,
went to his wedding. I forgot his card. I had everything.
Yeah, give me my first anniversary gift. You can get me.
I mean, I bought you a lot of beer.
You did. I know. I'm kidding.
Anyway, we're up against it. We're a little over an hour. I know Rowan and Real Ryan, you guys are kind of up against it here. So I mean, I'll throw it out there. Final thoughts? Anything else you guys want to hit? I mean, the goals, sure. Rowan, start us on Odegaard's goal.
But Rashford goal. Rashford was the first one.
Well, I
Rashford-
wasn't going to talk. I wasn't going to talk about it.
No, I mean,
We
But
should-
that's
I
fine.
I think-
That's fine.
no, tactically, like it's important to talk about it, right? Like because this one's so reliable. Ben White, first of all, Havertz giving the ball away, sideways
Yeah.
pass, right? Like,
Yeah.
what was he thinking? Like, I think that the right word was used the other day. He looks petrified, right? Not just scared. He looks petrified at the moment. Like he thinks like nothing is going to go on for him. Like that missed kick was just like schoolboy, not even schoolboy. I don't know what it was, right? And similarly, like making a sideways pass like that,
Yeah.
that too not powerful, not nothing, like you can just easily control and counter, not good, right? And then the through ball, really good. I think Ben White got into a reasonable position, and he should have shown Rashford down the line, right? Like I don't know why he let him into inwards, and then he and Saliba were on a straight line. Nobody was doing any. There was no added body, right? Like so. I think so many errors led to that goal, which was completely avoidable. Even after this thing, Ben White, experienced guy, should have taken him down the line and made it more difficult. Like nobody else was countering that at that point. We would have saved that goal. So yeah, I mean that's that. But then like what a response by Odegaard. Like he kind of does this all the time, right? Like good one-touch football. I think they were still celebrating, and we got out there. Martinelli cut back, goal in. It was like the couple of times he scored against Chelsea also last year like this, right? Like I think when I saw him in practice, by the way, he does this every game pre-game. Odegaard, this is his trademark thing where he will have a cutback and he will try to shoot on either side. He's not doing it with a standing ball. He gets the cutback and he's doing that, and he's really perfecting it. Super guy.
Real Ryan?
I agree with Owen a lot here. The Ben White has had issues with Rashford. I mean, this is not a new thing. He just it's just one of those things. He just has his number, and I get it. Where, he's trying to give him space because Rashford just is rapid and he doesn't want to get beat. But I think Rowan makes a good point. Is you just cannot let him get to his right foot like that. He did the same thing last year. Is he got in a position with kind of space? He does party. He takes a touch and just slots one. So we have an issue with him on that left-hand side, and I think Ben White is. I love him, but I think that is just a very, very bad matchup for him. And we'll see what happens when we play at Old Trafford. What we do there, but yeah, it's very shocking. And the other thing was just Saliba and Gabriel, the partnership there, just playing in the same line. I love Ramsdale, and he does get a piece to it. But I feel like sometimes when he's diving, like that first initial pop off his foot is not covering a lot of space. It's something that I don't see often, and he's not to blame for the goal, but I just feel like those are just some of the saves that I feel like just a world-class guy will just make those sometimes. But I'm not blaming him. But
but I'm not.
I'm not, and I know that's true, and I love him. I don't want to see him lose the job to Raya or anything like that. So that's one thing. Odegaard, I mean, the way that he's scoring is incredible. I think the only midfielder that comes to mind, at least Arsenal, that can score like this was Cesc. He's unbelievable with that same movement. And I forget, he had a goal that was called back. I think it was offside, but it was against Fulham. Same play. Right there, same area, cut back, and it's just money every time. He's so good. We talked about Declan's goal, which is awesome. And I mean, the ball that Fabio puts in for Gabby Jesus was incredible as well. And just to have the composure that's a long one-on-one run, basically.
Yeah.
Sits Dallo down and then slots it to the right. I mean, beautiful. So that's how I felt in real time about all the goals. But yeah, not too much else to say about them.
Ryan?
We're talking about all the goals or just the one? I was confused.
Have your say on whatever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Rice and Jesus goals are great. I mean, the Rice goal was interesting in the fact that I've noticed, take that with the Fulham goal, they tied it 2-2. we live by the set piece, we die by the set piece, which is very interesting. We concede a lot of set piece goals, but we also score a lot of them too. So it's very interesting. It's interesting period, because you would think if we're so good at attacking using corners, you think we would be good at defending them, but I mean that's there. The first goal was a little troubling because I mean Havertz I thought was I've been defending him for 3 games. I mean this is definitely his worst game. I think he lacks confidence. I know that Arteta wants to get him acquainted with the players and the system, and they want him to come good. I understand that, but he needs to have a sit. I think there's players better than him, and we can't be dropping points this early on. I know we did it against United, but we did against Fulham. And I think we need to kind of get something going, and I think he needs to slowly be integrated into the team. I know we paid a decent fee for him, but I don't know. What he brings to the table that Xhaka didn't bring to the table, he's not doing it. He has a lot of touches in the final third. I think he was second only to Martinelli. He knows where to go. He knows where to be. He just can't put the ball in the back of the net. His confidence is low. His passing is putrid. Something's got to be done with that. But he gives the ball away. And I think him or someone else needs to make a tackle and prevent this counter from happening. We are just terrible off the counter. We play a high line. We're asking for counters, and teams score on us on counters a lot. And I'm shocked no one tried to, just put their feet in on someone and try to stop this. And then I guess I'm not disagreeing with Ryan, but I'm not agreeing with Ryan. I don't think Rashford has Ben White's number in particular. I think Rashford's just one of the best players in the world on the left side. And I think that Man U are now starting to play him there because of, I know Martial started, but I think, Højlund is gonna be taking that role, and he's gonna be their player there. And I think Rashford is just superb off the left, and he's just so good. Not many players could stop him. And he does what he's going to do. And I think he's the only bright spot in this Man United team. And, you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. And he's done that to us. He did that to us the last time we played him last season. And he's going to do that in the future. And I'll never forget, the last time that I distinctly remember playing a Man U team being like, they're trash. We're going to kill them. I remember there being a player on their 11. I didn't even know who he was. Marcus Rashford. Oh, who's this guy? Yeah, they're fucked. Well, he scored 2 goals. Got a nice brace against us, and I was pretty upset. So yeah, I think he's just a really, really good player, and
I think both of those things, though, you and Real. I think.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I don't disagree with him, but I think it's
right.
not. It's not. Oh, Ben White's just not good against Rashford. No, I just think Rashford's just one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
That's Rashford's best position is on the left.
What I'm saying is that piece of play, it was defendable. He should have you do the right things and you get beat. That's one thing, right? You do the things wrong and then you get beat. It's a schoolboy, right? Like you can't let Rashford cut in the box. Like he's gonna have a shot. You show him down the line. You've got bodies in the box. They cut the cut back, or he's gonna have to do a worldie to like go around you or something. Give yourself a chance rather than just showing him in. You're taking yourself. Ben White and then behind him Saliba, both of them out of the game.
Yeah. I don't know what either one of them are doing.
No, yeah.
I mean, they're like you said, they're both showing them inside, but they're almost like Saliba's playing just off Ben White's shoulder, at least.
Exactly.
The
so he's
angle,
in the same line.
Angle, yeah, and if you're looking over Rashford's shoulder, so the behind angle camera.
We gave him that post free.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean it was effectively Saliba wasn't even there because he was like in Ben White's shadow.
Right. And I'd almost probably blame Saliba more than I blame Ben White, because Saliba first of all, he can see, Ben White can't see where Saliba is. So Ben White he's playing the man. He's playing the man. He has no idea that Saliba is literally right here on his shoulder. Saliba needs to step further in and come out more and keep Rashford, like you just said, keep him moving down the line. Keep him on the edge of the box, moving down the line. Don't give him
No,
a lane
what
to
I
shoot
meant
at.
was you show him on the out, right? On the outside, right? You show him on his left foot. You take him down the
Oh,
line
I saw. I see what you're saying.
rather
I see what
than
you're
let
saying.
him
Yeah.
let him get inside, right? Like you get him, like you don't let him come inside, because if he goes from the outside, you've still got Ben White in there. You've still got Saliba to cover in there. You don't show him inside. You have to play him like down the line.
Well,
as in-
use the lines to your advantage.
Right.
Use the touch lines to your advantage. There are four other defenders, and this is great. My nephew's coach. Not that I didn't know this. I mean, I played American football. Use the sidelines as an extra defender, but my nephew's coach. Granted, my nephew's 12, 13, whatever. He's a kid, but his coach use the touch lines to your advantage. They're extra when we're defending. There are four other defenders on the field with you. They're stationary. They don't ever move, but use them to your advantage. Not necessarily in this case, Rowan. I misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah.
Turn and keep him outside. I hear what you're saying now, but anyway, I guess let's just get into final thoughts here. Real Ryan, I'll start with you on a final thought.
Honestly, I thought that game was just what we needed. I think sometimes, we had a lot of these type of performances last year where we came back and won, or last minute things. But I think it was getting a little, I don't want to say stale. I just felt like we needed a spark, which is a great thing to send us into the break and just talk about a real sliding doors moment. Because I think if the Garnacho goal is a goal and we end up losing that game, I mean, I don't even know if I could talk today. I'd be devastated. So I'm glad that we won, and I think that's really going to lift the spirits. I think everyone will, hopefully everyone is healthy on the break and come back really ready to do this thing. Just because I think the Fulham game left a sour taste in our mouth, and then if we lost that game, and not only that, but when you're in a title race, you can't do this. Man City just will not let you do that. So I think if we dropped that many points so early, I think we might have just been like, well, maybe, next year. So I'm glad we won. It's given us good vibes. I think everyone feels good. And I'm really glad that Declan Rice's first goal was that. So I think everybody is good. And that makes me happy.
Declan Rice scoring a goal like that as his first goal for Arsenal
awesome.
is like Rowan. Rowan, how old is your daughter, if you don't mind me asking? She's like, what?
She's 7.
7? I was going to say 5. I was a little off. But that's like him giving her a McLaren for her 8th birthday. Like, okay.
I don't know.
She's not even old enough to drive yet. She's already got a car. So what are you going to do for your 16th birthday?
Right.
What does Declan Rice do for an encore now?
Right.
Like, he has to beat Man City on the 99th minute. Or like he has to score a goal to win us the league. Like if he scores a first goal in the first 5 minutes of a game against Everton, it's like, what? That's it. That's all you got. You know what I mean? That's what I meant with that. So yeah. Anyway, Rowan, thank you, by the way, for coming on. Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love having you back on the team. Final thought, if you would, please.
No, yeah, I mean, super happy to be back. We've done so many podcasts as therapy for our team not doing well. Most of my time doing podcasts has been like when our team hasn't done well, and it's catching up with you guys to share the emotion, right? Like last season, I was like, let's see what happens if I don't do it, right? Like and then it became like a superstitious thing, right? Like that, okay,
yes.
Let me not go on in because because we'll do better then. But
that's how I felt about playing FIFA. I didn't play FIFA all last season. I'm like, if I play a game, we're gonna lose.
Exactly. So that's that. But just happy to be back and talking about like happier things, right? And what happier things than beating Manchester United, in the 96th minute before an international break. That's a big thing for me, right? Like going into this 2-week break thinking that you've lost after the Garnacho goal, or that you've drawn, like you've already dropped 4 points, you're 4 points behind, you're playing catch up. City's probably gonna get 4 to 6 points against you anyway, and you're dead, right? And also I think like hopefully this has given Arteta the indication that this is the right format to play, right? Like play our best team in the. You just needed some tinkering. Things were going well, right? Like I don't know why he's done such a big change job with everything, right? But this time we played our usual back four. We were much better. Players playing in the right position, it helps, right? Like so absolutely ecstatic. Can't wait for the season to unfold. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you how your experience is right now, and then hopefully we're still in a title race in February, March, and get to go and experience it again.
Yeah.
Awesome.
OG?
I mean, what else needs to be said? It was a good win. The only thing I would slightly disagree, when it was 1-1, I would have chalked it up as a loss. We dominated them. Score. I mean, at the time, I was like, we should be winning. The score should be a lot more. And then, when Gabriel Jesus put the third in, I was like, okay, like a little better. Yeah, I mean, I like what we're doing. Something we didn't talk about, which I'm sure is something we can talk about next week. Arteta made the right decision in playing Gabby and Zinchenko, but was it forced because of Partey? I don't know. If Partey was healthy, would Partey be playing right back against Man U? I would like to think he wouldn't, just because it plays right in their hands.
Yeah.
And we all thought Ben White did a poor job at Rashford. Rashford would have
eaten Thomas
I
Partey.
didn't. But it's it's interesting. But you know what? 3 points. I'm excited. Hopefully this week will be good for the team that doesn't go away on a national leave. I would like to maybe integrate Vieira into this 11 potentially. I don't really hate even a Trossard. I think because I don't know how much I would like Vieira and Martinelli on the pitch together, because they're both really wide players. Vieira likes to come in the middle a little sooner, but I don't know. That's why I'm kind of almost leaning toward Trossard as the left 8 even. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a good win. And also shout out to Arthur Nkonkwo, who got his first shutout playing for Wrexham. He beat the Newcastle Academy, but I think
clean sheet, baby.
Yeah,
right.
I think the future is bright for Nkonkwo. I think not saying he's going to make it and be an Arsenal legend, but he has a really bright future ahead of him as far as being a keeper. So
yeah,
good to see.
My final words here. Shout out the chat. Stan the man in there. We really did have the band back together tonight, boys. Brady's Banana. Renat was in there. Mo, that's a new name for me. I think I said Brady's Banana. Yep. Bronx Gunner was in there as well. Russ Morgan jumped in as well there. So some of the usual faces. Gary, don't waste the tweet, is in there. My thanks, of course, to these three for jumping in. Good to have Rowan back in the fold as well. And Glenn, we missed you, buddy. Sorry, we had to go a little early tonight, but I guess there's always. I don't know if I'll be able to go next week. Little trip to London coming up next Thursday that I leave for.
Are you leaving Thursday? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I have shit to do.
Yeah, okay.
Which one matches are you going for?
It's not all about you, Ryan. It's not all about you.
I'm your shit to do.
Which matches are you going for? And have you got the ticket sorted?
Everton away, PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League for the first match in our return to glory. And then the little thing I like to call the North London Derby.
Wow. Okay.
And if I wasn't leaving,
points, you're staying in London.
And if I wasn't leaving Tuesday, the 26th, to come home, I'd stay. I'd probably be able to go to the Brentford match in the League Cup too. But gotta come back to the real world eventually. So
awesome.
Yeah. So the next time you see us could be next week. We might get something in. And if I can, then we certainly will. If not, the next time you see this ugly mug, I will be broadcasting from a flat in foggy London town, unless I do something in Liverpool, in which case it'll be rainy Liverpool, because it always rains there. Should I go to Anfield and do a stadium tour?
Probably should.
Sure, yeah.
It does smell like piss from what I hear. But yeah, anyway, that's a lot of Evertonians have told me that Anfield smells like piss. I don't know that I want to go in there. But I might. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you guys all very much, everybody watching the replay. If you have made it this far, thank you very much for that as well. Exciting times. It's good to go into an international break with 3 points
and especially 3 points against those idiots. And the way that we did it, it's good times. It's been good footy talk. We will see you out there.
See ya.